Well, for more on this, I'm delighted to say joining us now former England boss Sam Allardyce. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Sam.
Good morning. How are you, Pete?
Yeah, really
Go on,
good, thanks, mate. Hey,
Very
you were
good.
a big centre half yourself. How would you have felt about taking on Erling Haaland?
Well, they loved it. It was the little ones I didn't like, Jeff. They were a nuisance getting them onto my feet, you know what I mean? But I think that he's right what he said. Looking after Ireland is a difficult task, I think, particularly throughout the game. Your concentration as a centre half needs to be the best. I think that getting the right positions at the right time as well would be critical to stop him scoring a goal. If you switch off, particularly in the final third, you don't get side on, you don't look where he is and keep your eye on him, then you can pay the penalty. And he certainly proved that in his last game. I mean, he was hardly in the game for me, and then popped up with two goals, a header, left footer in the bottom corner. Absolutely brilliant, to be fair. Mind you, we've got Harry Kane.
Yes. Sam, who would you start centre half? Because Jeff said a few days ago that he would play Dan Burn maybe because he's done so well against Erling Haaland and obviously very good in the air.
I'm not sure he'll look at the past record, Thomas Tuchel, in the Premier League. Maybe somebody might mention it to him. It might change his mind. But, I think I still like to stick with the pairings if I can. I think football's played in pairings, two centre halves getting to know each other, the fullback, the wide man, the two midfield players, the two Bellingham and Kane. The more and more they play together, the more and more they know each other, the more and more they play off each other. So I think it would be Conser and Gay for me to keep that pairing together. And I think that in the cold light today, they've got to do the job. And the midfield players need the responsibility and the wide men to try and stop the service and limit the service as much as possible.
Do you worry at all, Sam, about the fact that for a short spell, at the end of the first half against Mexico, maybe 10 minutes or so in particular, that Raul Jimenez gave us a lot of aerial problems?
Well, I think because they scored so quick after we got the two goals, I think the escalation of the atmosphere and the sheer joy and desire of the Mexican team put us under immense pressure, which created that situation. And it really lifted the Mexican team. So I think that covering that spell was extremely difficult, and of course, and they didn't cover it that well in that particular area. But of course, you rely on your goalkeeper then, and Pickford made some very, very important saves, and I think that was crucial to the game going on to win. At some stage, it would calm down a little bit, and they managed to what we call weather the storm. So, it's a team they're going to have to play with a very good striker. Are they that much better than Mexico? I'm not sure. But of course, the threat up front, everybody knows if they don't know how he plays now, because he plays in the same league as them, and they're the ones that can't stop him, then I don't know who can. You know what I mean? So there can be spells that Norway are in the game. I mean, for me, the more you keep the ball off Norway, the more you get in Norway's half, the less time you have to worry about Ireland. So do that.
I mean, we had some fantastic performances against Mexico. Pickford, for me, stood out. Harry Kane, Bellingham, Gordon. We need the same level of performances, don't we? Because if this World Cup has taught us anything, is don't underestimate any nation. Even last night, maybe Argentina, did they underestimate Egypt and what they can do on the counter-attack? So all of our star players have to be at it, don't they, to beat a stubborn Norway?
Well, 100%, all of them. This is a World Cup, and this is, going into the later stages, you've got to be on top of your game, all of you. And I think that a manager needs to be on top of his game, and I think he's perhaps proving that because he's going to have to bring the subs on at some stage. I'm just a little concerned about the number of sort of injuries we seem to pick up, and I think that, the limited your selection process, the more difficult it will be. But, hopefully, I hope Reece James is fit, because if he's fit, I think he should play him. And I think that we should hopefully get the 100% out of the team, not just from an effort point of view, but from the talent that they have and we proved that again. I mean, is that not one of the greatest victories ever? 10 men against Mexico on their own ground.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I can't remember how many they'd lost or when they'd lost at home last, but you know, it's just a huge lift for the All England squad and everybody that watches England.
Did you watch the Argentina game yesterday, Sam? And if so, what did you make of it?
I'm sick of refereeing, Jeff. I think, you know, I'm sick of refereeing nearly from start to finish in this tournament. Like, I mean, it even, you know, it just proves it when what's happening when Donald Trump can interfere and get a decision change and undermine the game completely. I'm not happy about the refereeing. I don't think that was a foul. Trod on his toe. Come on. Dove like and squealed like a little baby. What about Salah? He stood on Salah's toe in the penalty area in the last minute, so that's got to be a penalty. I mean, it's just absolutely diabolical. My God, you know what is happening? I mean, even Brazil, when they lost that penalty at the end against Norway, he headed the ball and that's it. His arm come up and he goes, you know. And I just don't feel comfortable with it the way it's going on.
Does it always go for the big teams, Sam?
Feels like it.
Okay, mate. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Sam.
Pleasure.
Thanks very much indeed,
Cheers.
Sam. Pretty strident thoughts from Sam Allardyce there.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll be played throughout the day.
I tell you what, he's not just speaking for himself, because a lot of the reaction that's come in on text this morning is pretty much reflected what Sam said there.
A lot of people are saying the same, but like maybe I'm just blinded by my love for Messi. Maybe, do you know what I mean, Jeff? Maybe that's why I don't see what other people are seeing. But for me, I thought it was a foul on Sandro Martinez. 2 fouls, the shirt pull and the stamp on the toe. Yeah. And Salah, I felt, went down a bit easy.
Yeah. And I agree with you, but a lot of people don't see it that way. Look, check out the latest episode of the World Cup Daily Podcast. Natalie Sawyer's in Atlanta after an all-time classic game. Argentina coming from 2 goals down in controversial circumstances, as you heard, to beat Egypt 3-2. They'll discuss Messi's missed penalty. They'll discuss the controversial decisions during the course of the game. And, of course, Enzo Fernandez's stunning added time winner. Kick-off with Adrian Durham tonight comes live from Miami, 3 days out from England's World Cup quarter-final against Norway. It is live, of course, on talkSPORT. David Bernstein coming up next.